Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Tavis Leaf Clover, and today we have another Canon of Design quick tip. And right now we're going to be looking at Peter Paul Rubens, another one of my favorite artists. He's a Flemish painter from, I think it's the 1600s. And this one is of David and Goliath. You can see David's kind of whooping his butt, and Goliath is not doing so well. He's got all that bright paint showing the blood coming out. But let's look at a couple different design techniques, and then we'll be all set. So the first one we're going to look at is the coincidence running up from this leg and then going up through to the diagonals of the clouds, these distant clouds here, or if that's rain or whatever, but it's definitely a diagonal, and we're creating unity and movement. So the coincidence is an edge-to-edge relationship creating unity and movement, and it adheres to the law of continuity, which is a Gestalt psychology principle. So usually these techniques are best when they're hidden, so that typically means they're broken up and hidden from the viewer. They're not so obvious. So we can see how it's running up the leg, hits this elbow, and then it's broken up on the knee here, and then it continues up through the cloud. So it's nice and broken up, not too obvious, and it's creating that unity and movement that we like in paintings. Another one is the arabesque, and that one's also the law of continuity, creates unity and movement. We can reduce this and see how it's coming down the arm, around this fabric here, around here, this contrast in the fabric, around the leg. This is broken up here, and then it continues down Goliath's shoulder and then down to his head, and then hits this contrast here. Let me adjust this. Let's look at the ellipses, because I just saw another ellipse. This is another technique that adheres to the law of continuity. You can also hide it by breaking it up. Breaking it up just means that it's like a dot-to-dot construction instead of solid linear movements. Okay, so it's broken up here, the ellipse connects here, broken up here a little bit. Actually, there's contrast there. Across the eyebrows, broken up here, and then comes down the sword, and then around that fabric again. And then we also, I just saw another one. Let me draw that in. So when we were looking at the arabesque, I saw this other one here. That's a nice one. So we can see that nice ellipse there. Okay. And you know what? When you're painting, drawing, photographing, anything, instead of just free for all shooting or painting whatever you feel like, just take a moment to sit down, relax, sketch some ideas up, and have a list of all these design techniques in front of you, and kind of generate a little bit more movement, a little bit more unity, and slowly incorporate one technique after the other until you start getting to combine several of them like these masters. The more techniques you incorporate into your painting or your photo, the more masterful it's going to feel to the viewer, okay? Definitely hide these techniques, kind of like a magician would a magic trick. So the next one is aerial perspective, and that's usually just when the contrast is reduced. It creates a little bit more depth, and it can create atmosphere and mood also. So typically, if you look at mountains in the distance, they'll start fading in contrast, especially fading in like blue. So Rubens has that here. He's got these distant people faded away, so they're not drawing more attention to them instead of the main subject. We've also got lighting effects here, which can reduce the contrast and act as aerial perspective also. So we'll turn that back on so you can see that. Okay, and the last technique we have is Gamut, and that's the repeating diagonals, which adheres to the law of similarity. We've got a hidden unity and rhythm throughout the composition. So Rubens is repeating the diagonal of the leg with the diagonal of the arm. We saw this coincidence, but it's also repeating diagonals across the composition, and then across these other lines in the sky, across this fabric, across the sword he's holding, and then the knee and leg is the same diagonal as this arm to the chin and then to the fabric here. Okay, so that's all hidden techniques and can be used to create a more powerful composition. So this is Rubens. Definitely look at his stuff. He's got some amazing paintings and drawings. If you have a master in mind, photographer or painter or sculptor, list them below and I'll do my best to get to them. Thank you so much for all the support, and I'll see you in the next one.